I am so upset.
You think Bieber threw a temper tantrum? I bet he did.
I am so upset.
I saw a picture where he was like holding her and consoling her.
I want a new one.
Bad.
So I'll start with this story. It's not my date story. And this is if you got kids in the room, you may want them to leave.
And by not his date story, he means it's his date story.
So I got a buddy. I promise you, this isn't me.
Oh, it's a buddy.
It's
Okay,
a little on the gross side, but it's a story. It's a first date story. So my buddy, he's a big football player, former football player, goes out on a date with the girl. It goes great, right? A lot of drinks because there's some nerves involved on the date, and so they get a little tipsy. They make it back to her place. He gets into her place. It's a studio. So it's a smaller apartment, right?
Okay.
Both of them have been drinking. They went to a Mexican restaurant. They ate a lot of food along with the alcohol. So my buddy gets what we call the bubble guts, right?
Oh.
So in the studio, he's thinking, okay, the bathroom, it's a studio. I'm a big guy. I've had a lot to drink. No matter what happens, this stench is going to make its way out. A match that I light isn't going to do the job.
Oh, my God.
So he goes in the bathroom. He can't hold it. He's got to go. He goes to the bathroom.
Man.
Again, he's been drinking a lot. So he sits down on the toilet, and some time passes. He doesn't know how much because he comes to it, and the pretty girl who he was vibing with is standing over him in the bathroom.
Oh, no.
What in the expletive are you doing? Get out of here. I don't ever want to see you again. My friend tells me he comes to it and realizes when he sat down on the toilet, he never put up the lid.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that.
There was not a second date.
That is, you think?
Beat that story, Drew.
Did he clean it up? There's no story beating that. I've never heard anything
Never talked again.
even coming close. Who cleaned it up? He had to clean it up?
She had to clean it up.
Now, see, I
Give me a
have
whole new
problem.
bathroom.
He had quesadillas.
You said give me a whole new
steak
bathroom.
soft
I want a whole
tacos,
new toilet, a whole new
nachos.
bathroom. Ew.
That
Good
takes
morning,
the cake.
everybody. How's your breakfast
Wow,
today?
I got a
morning.
good one. I got a good one. So, well, it's not as good as that. So let
I
me
think
bring
mine's
it down.
not good. It's
Right.
bad, but
It's
you
not
go.
that good. Okay, you guys come down. I don't want to disappoint you. No, I remember freshman year of college, this guy, we were going out, and he's a football player, so he got injured. So I was like being supportive, but we weren't even like girlfriend, boyfriend like that at this time. But I was just trying to help because like college, like none of us have parents, so.
Best part about it.
I was trying to help. Like we were not even that serious. And then he ends up asking me also to like pay for his food, pay for his meal. Like he kept asking for stuff. I was like,
He wanted a sugar mama.
Like I had to shut it down. That was the last of that. I was like,
Was he good looking enough to have his stuff paid for? Oh, see. Well, see, that's a different story.
Yeah.
Like, I know I'm not to the level of asking women to pay for my food. You got to know who you are.
So I was helping you out more so as a friend. Like I said, we weren't even boyfriend,
You're such a good
girlfriend.
friend, too,
You
for
know,
that,
I was
yeah.
just trying to be nice. Like
Yeah.
if I was in that position, I need help
You
too.
would- yeah, absolutely.
And like he couldn't walk. Like that's how injured his leg was. And anywho, he asked me to pay for his food, and I was like, this is the last straw. Like you were confused. You must have bumped your head, baby.
He was injured. He just needed somebody to take care of him.
His wallet wasn't injured.
Right.
Well, maybe it was injured, but
Yeah, it was clearly
I
hurt.
don't have that great of a story. I mean, I just, from working so much, I guess, I went out on a date and we went to a club, we went to dinner, and we should have probably went out and not had dinner because the dinner made me more tired. So I just remember being in the club and I literally fell asleep.
Oh, wow.
I fell asleep, like which was scary because I didn't really know him and anything could have happened.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah, so
nothing
he's a stand-up.
happened,
He's a
but-
stand-up guy.
Yeah, he was a good guy, but it was bad for me.
So were you
because
gonna
Not
be-
drunk sleep. Like
No,
just
it was just
sleep.
sleepy
Would
because
you-
I was tired from working and then we ate a big
Yeah.
meal. You shouldn't take,
Yeah, well,
guys.
that's
don't
the
take
first
women on
mistake,
You don't
yeah.
go for a big dinner and then go to the club. Like, you know, food makes you sleepy.
Yeah,
That's
you
just what
definitely go
happens.
to a heavy dinner the first time
And then
around.
try to go turn
And
up.
I also learned
Didn't
don't go
happen.
for wings on a first date unless that's what you're going for because it can get messy. Maybe it makes it a little bit fun though.
I don't know. I'm all for some wings.
Yeah, right, maybe
Buffalo.
that
You
is
know,
the fun.
Chicago girls can eat.
Some Harold.
I hope that
mean,
story I told you guys stays singed in your mind for the rest of the
That
show.
was the story of
As
the week,
we
actually.
move along.
You know,
is
I'm going to
crazy.
say, celebrities, it's not new. Celebrities do it all of the time. Kardashians, you name them. They make deals and they govern license to various, you know, paparazzi. So, I mean, that's kind of what happens. You're just not used to seeing it in the White House. And she's our
Yes.
first lady. However, she was a model. Like, she was a big supermodel in Paris and Milan in the 90s. And so she's just going back to her foundation and her grassroots.
That's a
and
great point.
her relationships with her photographers, and she's made away from her husband, I'm sure, who has mentored her on multiple revenues of, you know,
Yeah, how to
income.
hustle.
So,
The thing
hustling.
that needs to be stressed here, this is incredibly unusual to dictate how the pictures are used. let alone for somebody in the White House to have a revenue stream coming from a photo service like this. But again, I respect the hustle, like you're saying.
And I heard she was even in a calendar that they sell in the gift shop at the
Oh,
White
wow.
House. So they're making money from the
That
tourists that
modeling
come by
thing,
their
yeah.
calendar. I'm like, they thought this through, very strategic.
So she's saying that it's really normal for Hollywood, but like you said, not
in the White
normal
House.
for the White House, for
Unprecedented.
political, for politics. Like,
Yes,
this
right?
is not normal. And the fact that Getty Images, it can be considered a media website, a journalistic website, journalistic business corporation. I think, in my opinion, there's a violation of ethics, journalistic
Integrity is
ethics.
gone.
Integrity,
Yeah,
right?
That's
of
a
course. I
problem.
think this again is another side of the Trump regime, because Melania is a part of that, being the first lady, of trying to dictate the message that comes out through the media. This is just another niche in which they're saying, sure, you can have these pictures that we own, but this is how you're going to use them. It's again sticking out that antenna further than the reach should be coming from the White House involving the media. And if I'm one of those journalists who's writing a story on the Trumps and it's not in positive light, there's a million other places to get pictures than to go to Getty. So there's a way to combat this. But again, I would have to say respect to Melania for trying
to
to
the hustle.
control this message and use these photos and also make some scratch from it. But again, there's so many ways around this if you're the media, right?
Yeah.
You know, the
obviously
media,
they still come out
I
with
mean, this
stories.
is where Trump says fake news. It's kind of like he has a right to say it, although many might not agree. It's fake news because you can manipulate media and control media. And we've seen it. You know, the Kardashians are the best at it.
Yes.
Kris Jenner, shout out, because she has really, really, figured this thing out. And so, like you said, the White House, Melania Trump, I mean, we have to set standards again.
Having her cake and eating it too, I respect
Yeah.
it.